Okay, what is up, bad bitcheries? Bitcheries and the batteries. Bads and the bitcheries. As you can tell from the title, today is another episode of Freestylaganzaaa. And I wouldn't really call it an episode, but, you know, another video. Yes, Freestylaganzaaa is here to fucking stay, babes. Now, as you can tell from the title, before we get into it, I just want to shit here. I just want to shit here and talk shit, just talk a little bit of shit. Let everyone know, life isn't really that fucking deep. A lot of people, that's probably why you don't make any content online, because you don't really feel like that you're valid, or you don't really feel confident enough because you think life is a lot deeper than it is. I know that I did, I thought that life was so deep and that like I had to have something real important. But, to a certain degree that's true. But at the same time, what's important is you. Like, you make it important by being you. At least that's what I think. I could be wrong, you know what I mean? But a lot of people in this world don't think they're important, so it just leads them to doing shit that doesn't really matter, like being a wage slave, working every day at a job and thinking that that's just the end all be all. I'm not saying you're a wage slave if you work, but thinking that's the end all be all, or that you've achieved some kind of goal when really you're just a slave, like that's really all it is. So, just be mindful wherever you're at in life, you know what I mean? Because, some people might think that that's the end all be all, like I was saying, and then that just stems from an insecurity. I know that came from my insecurity. I thought that like I couldn't do nothing except for work, be a wage slave, and if I tried to branch out, it wouldn't be worth it. But then I started to grow up and I realized, I looked out into the world and I was like, bruv, how many times do I see people who's in a position of power or who's somewhere like that I think is important, and then once I get to know them, I realize that people aren't shit, and that's really what you should learn from life. That's the takeaway from my life, at least. Whoever you think is up there on a pedestal, I guarantee you, majority of them, if not like 99%, maybe 90%, that might be a little bit too generous. 90% of people that you think is up there is really down there, and in a lot of cases they might even be like even lower than you. And it's not about a hierarchy, you know what I mean? It's not really about the hierarchy per se. It's more just saying that, they've got a lot of learning to do, a lot of experiences. You might be a lot more experienced, a lot more wise than your manager per se. Just because they're in a manager position doesn't mean that they're more knowledgeable or wise than you. Just means they got a position before you did. And that's what a lot of people get lost in. A lot of people just follow the leader, follow the leader. Shout out to whoever made that song, whatever. But, you're following a bunch of fucking lost motherfuckers. That's all I'm trying to say, basically. So, you want to ask me? You should definitely follow yourself. Be your own leader. But if you're fucked up in the head and you just follow everyone else, babes, you're just gonna be following yourself to follow other people. So that just leads to you just being lost even more. So I wouldn't recommend that. I definitely wouldn't recommend that. And yeah, in actuality, this all just came out on a whim. You just sometimes you got to do that freestylaganzaaa. Even though, yeah, Freestylaganzaaa is pretty much based on why is my laptop slowing down? even though Freestylaganzaaa is pretty much based on freestyling, you know, because I love to freestyle like rap and stuff like that. But it's a freestyle, it's a free for all, you know what I mean? So I just free for all anything, I free for all the British accent, you know, whatever, like I free for all like talk. I just talk whenever I want. I talk however I want. You know, if I want to talk shit, I talk a little bit of shit. And this is not me trying to bitch, although I sound like I'm trying to bitch now, so I might as well, you know, calm it down a little bit. But I just want to bring that to people's perspective because I know a lot of people don't value themselves, myself included in the past, you know, in the past, you know, I'm talking about the past. A lot of people don't value themselves enough to actually pursue their dreams, to pursue their goals. They don't value their dreams or their goals because, you know, there's a lot of fake shit online these days that makes you think that people that aren't actually, like, haven't actually earned that shit, have earned that shit. When in actuality, I guarantee you, majority of people, that's actually up there, especially when it comes to like famous people and stuff. Half of them didn't even earn it, I guarantee you. And I know some people in my life that I've met that are way more talented, way more gifted, you know what I mean? And a lot of people who are even more talented, shout out to Dollar the Pilot Man, you know, way more talented, have done way more work, have put way more effort, but somehow aren't in the spotlight. And not only that, but their shit is way more quality than a lot of the stuff you see these days. That's why a lot of people say, you know, modern music is fucked, modern this is fucked, modern that is fucked. It's not that modern anything's fucked, it's that it's all fake. It's like it's pushed by, you know, the shadows and stuff like that. So of course it's going to be shit because it's not actually built on someone's gift or talent being good enough. It's more just built on pursuing or perpetuating like a fake image about something to make you guys pay attention to a certain energy, and then you think that that is actually the world, but no, that's all an illusion. That's their game, you know what I mean? They love to cast illusions and shit like that. So yeah, without further ado, guys, I'm going to get into the Freestylaganzaaa, guys. Doody doo, doogie doogie doo doo. What the heck are you doing? Oh my goodness, get out of my face. Cause I'm just chilling here trying to embrace, trying to find my place. Get out of my face. I am filming. If you wanna get in the video, but I don't know if I want you to do that, no. Cause you're kinda young, you're like a child. I don't really like children in the video. Cause y'all might feel like you can't do that, baby. But you know that sometimes life is crazy, so I don't wanna put you in that position. But you know that I'm switching, and you know that I'm rich when I do it in the. Don't mind me, don't mind me, don't mind me, yeah. You know sometimes I'm just flying through the sky. I could give a fuck about the guy. I'm just trying to make sure that I stay fucking high. Cause sometimes you might feel like you're down the ride with some bullshit, but that's okay, cause I'm cool with everything in my reality. Even though sometimes I might get a little bit frustrated, I just gotta realize the shadow work is motherfucking necessary. Cause you know that I'm not trying to get hairy like Harry McClary. I'm not trying to act like a fairy, but you know that I could be one, yeah. Baby, you know I'm a little bit zesty. Baby, you know I'm a little bit testy. Test my testicles, test my testicles. What the heck? Oh my goodness, what the fuck is that? I'm just trying to make sure that I say my fucking rap. Sometimes you might get a little bit shy, a little bit afraid, but you just gotta realize that everything in life is not really that deep. It's not really that serious. Baby, everyone takes it serious. Everyone takes these rules and regulations serious, but fuck that energy, fuck that enemy. I don't want that sending me into a hell. Taking an L, taking an L. You know I'm just chill. Taking an L, taking an L. You know I'm just chill. Taking an L, taking an L. You know that I'm just chill. Taking an L, taking an L. You know that I'm just chilling. I could give a fuck. I'm just healing. I'm just stealing every single fucking day. I'm just trying to do it in my own fucking way. Yeah, trying to look for the next beat. Baby, what's it gonna say? What's it gonna say? Are you gonna take it to the next level? Gonna get this heavy, but baby, I'm not trying to get real freaking heavy. I'm not trying to make sure that my shit is not steady, cause I like to be a tourist, fixated in the moment. Fixate on your own ways of thinking and feeling, baby. You know that I'm just dealing, doing my healing, rising up above the motherfucking ceiling. You know, I've been thinking about what I just said to my little sister about how I don't really like kids being in the video. I'm starting to think like maybe I'm just overthinking it, you know what I mean? Like I was saying, you know, life is not really that deep.
Go off.
Bruh, this ad is so trash. As I was dancing to it. Bye! Yeah, I don't think it's really that deep. I think I was just in my head about it. Bruh, the cat, bye. I feel like that's edited though, low-key. And I think I'm right, because that shadow does not match up, baby. The shadow doesn't match up, but that's okay, cause I'm just trying to light a freaking match up. I'm just trying to make sure that my fire burns higher. I could give a fuck about the super silly little desires. You know that I'm trying to rise higher. Build the fire for my passions, and I don't give a fuck about the passion or the kissing. You know that I'm just missing. Miss me with that bullshit, baby, I'm just missing. Baby, I'm just missing. Baby, I'm just missing. Baby, I'm just missing. I could give a fuck if you wanna send me a diss one. I'm just freestyling, cause you know that I'm pissing myself laughing. I could give a fuck if you see me in class when I'm just living up. You know that I'm just brassing these knuckles. I could give a fuck, baby, you gonna make me fucking chuckle. A lot of people don't like the swearing, but I'm just trying to make sure that I don't end up like Harry McClary. Maybe well, what the heck? I hate when my voice cracks. Hate when my voice cracks. Baby, you smoke crack. Baby, you smoke crack. Baby, you know that. I'm just trying to make sure that I boom bap. I could give a fuck about the silly shoes that these people try to wear. I'm just trying to make sure that they don't stay in my fucking fair. Yeah, what the heck, baby, I'm just here. Yeah, I'm just trying to make it clear. What the heck, how many times did I say that? Oh my goodness, what the heck? How many times can you say what the heck in the song? Baby, you know I'm just smoking on the bong. Haven't smoked the bong in so fucking long, but that's okay. I'm not acting like a motherfucking Cheech and Chong. I'm just gonna smoke it when I get it, yeah. Right now, you got to get your finances in check. I could give a fuck about the weed if I don't got my finances in check. Gotta make sure I'm just rising to the next shore. Blah, 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 blah. And see, this is what I was talking about, guys. So if you've noticed, you might not have noticed, but I actually tend to go towards the videos that have the least views. And there's a reason for that. I've found that I prefer those beats more. Not just because they have the least views, and I was talking about what I was talking about before, but I just seem to notice that the least views ones seem to be the best beats. And I don't know, you know, maybe I could just be biased. Might just be a preference thing. But I don't know. If you guys listen to a lot of YouTube beats, you might be able to relate. Relate. I thought my freaking piercing was on clipping. See, I kind of like this beat, but I don't know. I like this guy, Sky D1.
Sam, aka Sambucha, and I'm a YouTuber.
Sambucha. Damn, I kinda like this. I cannot fight it. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that I write it. Every single moment, you know that I'm making right with myself, my own energy. I don't need to chill on my throne with the enemy. Baby, you are not sending me. I could give a fuck if you wanna consider me. I'm just trading. What the heck, trading? Oh my goodness, baby, what the fuck are you saying? Baby, I'm just trying to have fun while I'm playing, freestyling. You know that I'm just spraying, spitting all the words out. I could give a fuck if you want to take the herd out. You know that I'm just trying to do me. Trying to make sure that I'm motherfucking groovy. I could give a fuck if this is a silly little movie. I could really care if you wanna step to me. Stick to me, stick to me. I could give a fuck. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm grooving. Every single time that I'm motherfucking moving. Every single time that I make a fucking movie or a video. I could give a fuck where the videos go. I could give a fuck with the people shitty know. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Sometimes the words don't make motherfucking sense, but I spit out the words. I just gotta make sure that it's fucking heard. Sometimes your heart feels like it's hurt, but you just gotta kick up the motherfucker dirt or kick rocks or something. Baby, I'm just thumping. Do. Baby, I'm just stumping. I could give a fuck if your motherfucker's stumping me. I could really care less, I'm just having fun with myself. Yeah, sometimes you might feel you're...
I switched from due dates to due dates, and it made...
I hate when I stuff up, but whatever, love, it's not even that fucking deep. Plus, if anybody freestyles, you already know. For me to go that long without stuffing up is already a feat in itself. Or maybe I'm just trash at freestyling. Whatever. I just realized I was meant to switch it to this. But you know what? Maybe not. Everything happens for a reason, you know? Because I did have my doubts. I was like, I don't know if I want to switch to that, you know? Because I don't always like to show this in the background. Especially, you know, you got like some signs and sigils that you don't always want to have on there. Good symbols, good symbolisms, you know. That's why I like to choose, you know, a little bit of a good background. It's got the guitar for the music. I got the plant, even though it's literally drooping over. That bitch needs some motherfucking milk. I got that thing, that thing. Just because it just looks nice. Kind of reminds me of like a headdress. And then of course, you know, you got the brick wall representing like that building that you're gonna build on top of something, you know, you're gonna have something substantial. Can't just be fucking standing on fucking, you know, quicksand. Whatever the heck. Doesn't have, you know, solidified energies.
Hear ye! By royal decree of Hugh may I.
What's an instrumental that I can rap over? What's an instrumental that I could rap over, baby? I'm just trying to make sure that I don't croak over like a motherfucking old bitch. I don't really wanna be like that, baby. I'm not sold with it, cause I could give a fuck about living short. Yeah, maybe back in the day, I wouldn't really care less about my life. I'm just trying to make sure that I rise above the pain and strife. I could give a fuck about a fucking knife. I could give a fuck about your silly little wife or your husband. Yeah, I could give a fuck about a knife. I could give a fuck about your silly little wife or your husband. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm just living it up when I speak my mind. I speak my mind, baby. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't waste my time. Don't waste my time, baby. I'm here just living life, yeah. Sometimes you might feel a little bit scared. You might feel like you don't. What the heck? Oh my goodness, you know that I'm not trying to be a con. Do-do-do. Yeah. This instrumental though, I'm not even gonna lie, it's so good. I don't even know if this is the instrumental. I think it's a whole ass song. Hey, okay, what happened to the sound? That's not good. You guys probably can hear it, but my earphones is on 20%. And when it goes on 20%, it starts doing this. Actually, that's good time, because I did say that I was going to jump off in a sec. How long are we in? Oh wow, that is almost perfect timing. I really like this beat, it's kinda groovy. Makes me feel like my spirit is freaking moving like water. I could give a fuck about your stupid little daughter. I could give a fuck about your silly little sons. Baby, I'm the one. I could give a fuck about a gun. I could give a fuck about a fist. I could give a fuck about the wrists that you like to embrace with bracelets. Baby, you know that I'm just trying to say shit. Every single moment I'm just trying to spray shit. Got the moment, got the rhythm in the music, got the force of nature. You know that I'm just trying to freaking play, trying to freaking say what I really want to say in my own freaking mind. I could give a fuck about a silly little dollar or a dollar or a dollar or a dime. But you know that I would love to be rich, love to be abundant. But you know that I'm not that bitch to focus on the energy that is not gonna motherfucker send me to a heavenly state of being. I just like to send myself to that, cause you know I'm seeing everything in my reality for what it is. I could give a fuck about the motherfucker shit. Just having fun, baby I'm the one, baby I'm the one, yes, yes. I could give a fuck about the fucking test. I could give a fuck about what you think's the best or the worst. You know that I'm not trying to focus on a silly little curse. Baby, I'm just about to burst. Just about to bust in the motherfucker door. I could give a fuck about the silly little things that you think is motherfucker chores. Baby, I'm just trying to think about it like it's life. You know that I'm trying to think about it like I don't wanna grab a knife, don't wanna act like a suicidal. But you know, I'm not trying to judge anybody who goes down that road. What the heck? Why the fuck does my mind go to that? It might be my 8th house moon on the cusp of the 9th house. Maybe you know that I'm just trying to ride to the next level. To ride the wave? Oh my goodness, baby, you know that my mind is going kinda sway to the side. And sometimes you just gotta realize that you're overthinking all the rhymes, and you just gotta take your freaking time to get in the flow, in the rhythm, and that's where you'll feel it. That's where you'll feel it in your freaking spirit. I could give a fuck about the fucking silly shit that you wanna feel or feel it. Feel or feel it, I was meant to say. Cause you know sometimes you might get a little bit shy. Cause you know sometimes you might get a little bit fried in your motherfucking mind. Especially if you did drugs when you were younger. Baby, you know that I'm not trying to get hung up. I'm not trying to act like that fucking bitch or that silly motherfucker acting like they're living in the ditch. Cause you know sometimes cause you know sometimes you might get a little bit afraid. It might feel like people gonna judge you anyway, but you just gotta realize that you gotta pave your own way. And that marks the end of our episode, guys. I hope you guys had a great time. And if you didn't, why the fuck did you watch to the end? You've got some issues, babe. Maybe you're sitting there judging, sitting there hating, you know, but if you had a great time, then, you know, good on you, because you watched to the end. That's usually what you do when you have a great time. So it shows that, you know, something's going right in your brain, you know, you're not like watching things out of a hateful mindset or anything like that. You know, so you got a couple screws on tight there. So I hope you guys have a beautiful time wherever you are. You know, it could be night, it could be day, it could be in the AM. You know, I would say morning, but I don't mourn, and I don't think you should either unless you're at a funeral, in which case, by all means, you know, I'll see you guys for the next video.